instructional core will be greatly affected. So the theory of change. Again, you've seen these many times. These 6 essentials guide all of the decisions that we make. They are what's called defined autonomy. They tell us what the expectation is, but how we get there as a group and as a staff really is defined by what happens in that classroom and on those levels. So shared leadership, responsive instruction, professional development, families and communities, student work and data, and aligned resources. And on the table over here, I know I'm talking a lot tonight, but there's proof in the pudding. On the table is evidence of all of the work that has gone into each of the components I'm talking about tonight. Evidence that this is currently happening. It's here. We're working really hard on it. You're welcome to go look at the table during the presentation, after the presentation, if you have questions or concerns. Many of the work, the documents over there are currently in progress, so I would ask that you please don't take them, but if you want copies of anything, I'll be happy to send you emails or Xerox copies for you of any specific content that you would like. But very excited to have proof of all the things that we're doing so that you can physically see that what we're talking about tonight really is truly happening. And shared leadership. I'm so proud of the way that we work together. One of the things we've done, especially this is the most current strategy put into place, was a district leadership team. And through the PI process, we have put together a leadership team of all stakeholders, including parents, classified personnel, certificated personnel, administration, at the school site level and at the district level, to look at all of the strengths and weaknesses of our district. And coming to you in January will be an LEA addendum where you will see action steps towards improvement in areas of our weakness. Yes?
Can we get that early so we have some time to read it?
We're finishing writing it, so as soon as the draft is done, I promise I'll get it to you as soon as I can.
It takes time to...
It's absolutely, Debbie. I will, as soon as, actually next Tuesday and Wednesday, we're really meeting and working on writing that draft for you. We're meeting with LACO on Wednesday afternoon, so hopefully by the end of next week, I'll have a draft for you, and I'll have Dr. Witter put that in your Dropbox.
Great.
Absolutely. One of the most amazing things was teacher collaboration. At all 4 of our school sites, teachers are given an opportunity to collaborate. It is so important for teachers to share in their strengths because students benefit when teachers learn from each other. And one of the things that's newer this year is administration collaboration. You have here a team of administrators that meet weekly to discuss program, to improve upon ourselves, to learn about each other, to look at data from each site, so that we can make positive change. It is truly about teamwork and working together, and very excited to have those new strategies put into place. Responsive instruction strategies are next essential. It is important that we have a guaranteed and viable curriculum. You guys saw at our last board meeting, our STAR scores across the board in math, as it gets older, are plummeting. There's something going on. So here we are, by January 1st, all teachers at every school site will post current standards that they are teaching in their classroom for students and visitors to see. They'll be using state-adopted materials. Teachers are expected to teach students the skills that they need to reach proficiency. We are asking that the teachers teach the standards. They must show that by posting the standards and the rubrics in the classrooms so that when everybody walks into the classroom, not only do the teachers have evidence that they're working on this current skill, but the students understand that this is what they need to know.
Can I ask you about that, which is, and the technology may lag a little bit, but sort of this notion of posting it in the classroom is sort of a long way behind posting it on the portal, posting it on the web in a way that can be accessed on a regular basis from parents.
Sure.
Is that part of the overall plan? And
as we align those resources and getting those school websites in place, absolutely there needs to be a tab for each parent to click on their grade level and look at those essential standards. Even better is if you're posting projects on the web, making sure it's linked to that specific standard, and even to the rubric eventually, so that parents know the expectation.
I think that's huge, because if you really want to get the parents involved in collaborating, including in some cases when they're not getting it, finding their principal, their superintendent, their staff member, they actually have to know what was expected.
Absolutely.
So they have to say, oh, now I can complain because it's actually not what what you told me it was going to be, as opposed to, oh, I didn't know it was supposed to be, so I can't really complain.
And as we move forward, I'm going
Or
to talk
compliment.
a little bit about on the Common Core and the rubrics that we're creating, and those can be posted on the web. So you will have proficiency levels that we've created as a district that will align with the state, so that for any standard, you will be able to visibly see what the expectation is.
Well, that's great. I don't want to take it off track, but I do think that that interactive piece is important to
The feedback.
get the feedback mechanism from the community so they can react and know what was expected. And I know that as I talk to teachers, you know, often they'll say, well, I'm not a web type person, so I didn't get mine up, or I don't know how to do it. So that's a challenge. The good news is it ought to be a heck of a lot. I don't know what standards you're using, what website system you're using, but you can build an awesome blog or a website in 15 minutes, and it's not hard. So we ought to be able to figure this out.
Absolutely. And I know that there, Vasquez is in current under construction, Betalark is as well, and collaborating with those resources and aligning those resources with the community. It's so important to have that parent tab, and for parents that want to understand the standard, and for example, their students struggling, having specific areas they can go to on the web for resources. There's a thing called Portal, where it looks at each standard individually, connection and resource on the web.
And at some point we've discussed, obviously, one of the key things that I want to do originally is we talked about, remember the content. We talked about, we're going to alter the content. We're going to talk about the Common Core. We need to do some adoptions. We get textbooks. All of those now have availability online with a clear connection to the standard, clearly identifiable, where everybody will be able to get it online. Even if you don't have access to internet, you're going to have it on campus eventually. Those are some of the things that we're way behind, guys.
Absolutely.
No doubt
But it
about it.
shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't.
It's not, but it takes a little bit of money to do some of those new adoptions. Our adoptions are too old. They don't have them online.
What they do is very minimal. I think our science and social studies does have like a very abbreviated version.
You mean the
online.
textbooks we've adopted don't?
Yes.
Those groups aren't.
That's correct. That's
Well,
correct.
no, they're up to speed. We just haven't over adoption.
The current ones are up to speed.
We're still
Under
we're
that
still
company.
currently in
So it's
compliance
not
by the
our
law.
issue on web enabling it. It's the fact that the content's not there, even if we can maintain
And
it.
now-
It is
In some
minimal.
of them.
Minimally. It's very
It's not
minimal.
entirely.
It's very and it's something that definitely, as we look into new adoptions and as the Common Core is rolling in next year, we'll be benefiting actually kind of by waiting for a little bit, because we're going to have adoptions that will align with the Common Core, which will benefit the teachers as well. Another big area we're working on is differentiated instruction, and what that means is that's educational lingo for making sure and holding teachers accountable for teaching children at the level that they need. Louis Mangione came out last year, and he's phenomenal at differentiated instruction, and I have his manual over here for you to peruse through, but it's amazing the strategies that can go onto a classroom.